Alright, welcome back to Japan versus the World. We're in a tight spot. We took a lot more casualties on our last turn than we reasonably should have, which is unfortunate. We netted a gain, which is always nice. But we've got some ground to make up here, and I really, really need to get this stronghold in Karelia to fall. Not for the IPC gain, but this is just a looming threat that we've got to take out as quickly and as most opportunely as we can. So what I'm going to end up doing here, well, first we've got to purchase some units. So let's get our standard 6 tanks to pull out of Moscow, and an additional 3 that we can pull in out of Caucasus. Let's get 2 more infantry to put out of Russia, other artillery to pull out of here. And I don't quite have enough units to get ourselves another fighter, which would have been nice. So let's go ahead and get a tank and bank these 2. Alright, so for our combat move here, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm bringing 1 single infantry here into Poland, because that nets us a gain of 2. We're going to move 3 of our infantry and 3 of our artillery up here into Belarusia to take on this tank. They should be able to handle that pretty well. Actually, it's 2 tanks, but we outnumber them, so I'm not too concerned. I'm flying up 2 or 3 of my bombers here to hopefully take out these 2 destroyers and this loaded transport, and we're moving as many ground forces as we can into Karelia. And it's probably going to be another bloodbath, but we're more equal on numbers now than we were last time, so hope springs eternal. Let's go ahead and jump into this and see just how messy things are going to get. So starting off with our combat here in Belarusia, we should be able to take a pretty decided victory here. And that's the 2 hits that we need to take out those tanks. And we are going to take at least 1 casualty here, which I'm fine with. Because we comparatively took the victory there, which is always nice. Alright, here is the bloodbath in Karelia. Hopefully things go a little bit better this time around. Odds are they're not going to. But we did get a hit out of our number 1 infantries here, so that's nice. Let's see if we can get any hits out of these other ones. It's an extra hit. Hopefully we can start pulling in some pretty hefty hits from these guys, and we did. We've got a lot of damage coming in from these guys. As that takes out a good chunk of their tanks, all of their foot soldiers, and then hopefully the bombers here can land a hit or 2. 1 is better than nothing. So we'll be taking 1 hit on our infantry. No returning fire from these guys, which is nice. There's no way we're getting out of this unscaled. There's probably going to be some pretty hefty casualties that come out of that. Yep. So let's take these guys, and then 7 more hits there, and see where we lie at the end of that. And no hits from these guys, so that is good. We have a numbers advantage, and that's what we were really looking for here. So let's go ahead and press forward. And hopefully this is all we need. That's 3 and 7 and 5 more. That should be everything they had left. So let's see where the retaliation comes from. Nothing from the bombers. We're definitely getting some out of these tanks. Fortunately, it's only 2. So let's go ahead and take 2 hits here. And we're going to take 1 hit at least. Nope, we're going to get 2. I actually feel best taking those on these planes, because then we can leave a substantial amount of tanks to defend Karelia. And that went a lot better than the last time that we tried taking Karelia. Again, it wasn't about the IPC gain. We were just looking to get rid of the mob that was amassed up here, which is always good. It also nets us the retaking of a victory city, which is crucial. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our attack out on this C-zone, and that gets us the 2 hits we need to sink their destroyers. No returned hits from the destroyers, so again, we're netting a positive interaction from that group there. Ugh, well, that was a hefty round of casualties that, yeah, I probably could have avoided, but at the end of the day, we've netted ourselves a victory. So let's go ahead and fly all of these fighters here to fortify in Ukraine, deter any attacks that might come from there. Let's get these bombers back to Russia and these bombers back to Russia. We'll want to move these guys out of Moscow, move these guys into Moscow. We'll go ahead and move this guy up, move these guys here, and that's really all we really need to do at this point. It'd be good if I could bring in my navy and start doing some work over here, but I'm just so far away. I'm so far away that it's not going to do me any good to really build anything into any of these ports, any of these areas at all. So let's go ahead and make that our final movement on our non-combat. And that gets all of our units placed in the areas that we need them to be. So let's go ahead and call that a turn. Alright, so despite having succeeded here, we've got Britain being very annoying with all of their transports that they funneled in some more units here. We'd have successfully defended against the US when they came in and tried to attack here, but they left me a little thin. So we're going to have to stick it to them again. It shouldn't be nearly as bloody, but I've got a plan for these groups here. Well, first and foremost, let's go ahead and grab our 6 for Moscow, our 3 for Kaukas, grab our 2 additional infantry from Moscow and artillery for Kaukas, and let's go ahead and grab ourselves another bomber. Alright, so we're bringing in as many ground forces as we can back up here into Leningrad, and we can bring our bombers into this fight. I was really hoping to be able to use my fighters as well, but they can't make it. They're too far away. So we'll be going in there on a bomber run to take on these destroyers and hopefully just one-shot these transports from Great Britain. So that's gonna be our movement. Oh, we're moving one of our artillery over here into the Baltic states as well. Alright, so let's fight over Karelia again. This one's a much smaller fight than the previous, which is good. Hopefully we can net a couple of hits here from our artillery division, which we did get at least 2. And then our tanks and fighters should hopefully wrap the rest of this up. And it doesn't look like they quite did that. Gonna get a couple of hits from the artillery here, or from the infantry. One's not bad, so let's go ahead and take that. And then how many are coming back from these tanks? 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't exactly what we wanted to see, but let's press on, because we can take this final tank here, and we're going to take one more hit. Let's go ahead and wrap that up on the artillery. Overall, a victory. And again, it gets us the victory city back. So let's go ahead and see if we can damage the British Navy. Come on, net me some hits here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all 5 of them. That's 1 turn, all 5 hits. And we're taking at least 1 hit back, which had to kind of be expected here. So 2. That's not terrible, because we can really set them back a lot further than we were set back just now, which I'm happy about. So let's go ahead and land our bombers back down here. Let's land our fighters Let's land him in West Russia, keep people from blitzing in. And then in terms of our non-combat other moves, let's go ahead and move 2 of you and 1 of you up here into Belarusia. Let's move you up here, which means we can move another you in here. And another of you here as well. We can then move you guys into here, move you over here, move you over here, move this tank up into this area. And that's going to be everything for our non-combat movement here. And for mobilizing the rest of our units here, let's go ahead and dump these 6 tanks here, these 3 tanks here, these 2 guys there, this guy here, and the bomber down in India. Alrighty, well, we lost a couple of provinces in here. That was kind of to be seen. And the US made a move that annoyed me, but it was tactical. They landed a single bomber up here in Finland to keep me from blitzing through both Finland and Norway. Again, it's a tactical move. I completely understand why they did it. It still makes me upset. So, on a positive note, the English forces moved their entire navy into here, which consists of 1 final transport, 2 cruisers, and 2 destroyers. Additionally, my fighters are now in range where I can bring them into that fight as well as those bombers. So we're going to make a slight adjustment to our purchase plan in this round. First off, I'm going to end up getting 2 bombers and 3 fighters. We're then going to go ahead and round that out with 2 tanks and 2 artillery. And call that what we need for the unit purchase. Now in terms of our combat, we've got a couple of things that we're gunning for. First off, we're moving 2 tanks up here into Finland to take out this bomber on the off chance that that bomber lands a hit, because it's been known to do that on the past couple of turns. Which will get us 1 unit there, and then hopefully we should be able to land some troops in Norway on our next turn. We're putting a little bit of pressure here into Belarusia, and hopefully things don't go too terribly there. But the main pressure point that I'm wanting to extort is the forces here in Ukraine. So we're moving in all and any ground forces that we can, as well as most of our tanks from the remainder up here in Karelia over here into this area. We will be landing any of our surviving aircraft up here in Karelia, as well as a couple of units to help defend from our unit placement phase. And then we are flying our fighters and our bombers into the Baltic Sea in order to take on what's remaining of the British Navy. So let's go ahead and make it happen. So the Finland fight should go pretty one-sidedly, as it did, and hopefully they don't get any return hits, which they don't. So that is exactly what we were looking for there. Next, we have our combat in Belarusia. And Belarusia, well, hopefully I get a hit there, which I don't. Hopefully the tank helps out here, which it does. We're going to take some hits back, and it's going to be 2 of them. So let's go ahead and retreat back out of there. Alright, here's the big fight. The big fight in Ukraine, SSR. And we're looking for as many hits as we can out of our 1s and 2s. Nothing off of our 1s. 1 hit out of our 2s. And then 17 tanks. Hopefully we get a fair spread of our hits here. We don't. But it is going to take out the remainder of their infantry. How many hits we get here? We've got 2. No, we've got 3. And how many hits are we getting back out of the tanks? More than I would like. 7. But we still hold the numbers advantage here, so I am going to press on. And that's only 4. Hopefully we retain some numbers here. Nope, we're taking 7, which is going to be enough to push us back. Alright, so heavier casualties than I would have liked in those 2 fights, but hopefully things will turn around for us in this Baltic Sea warfare. And we've got all the hits that we need to take out these guys, and then that final transport. No hits from the destroyers, 1 hit from the cruisers. So let's go ahead and take that on a fighter. And at the very least, we had some mild success with our seafaring war. Now, we'll be flying these guys back into Moscow. And we'll be flying all of these fighters into Karelia. We're looking pretty slim. And that is not a good look to have. So let's go ahead and move these guys here. This dude here. And you know what? I'm going to start bringing my navy around. Because they're not doing any good sitting over here on the coast. So we've got these guys moving around. These guys have retreated. These guys moved. These guys are taken care of. And that's about all I can do. So let's go ahead and get our troops mobilized. We'll want to produce one of these guys. And one of these guys up here. We'll want to produce both of our bombers out of Moscow. These ground troops are all going to go down here, as well as a plane. And that's going to be about how we leave things. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So let me know again what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying the series, as the subscription is free and easy. And we will catch you in the next one and hopefully be able to reassert some damage control. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.